Hello, everyone. Welcome to my freak show. It is so glad. I am so glad to have you guys here. It is awesome to be here. So, thank you all very much for showing up. Before we start the stream, I want you guys to know that it's going to be a 30-minute stream tonight. And secondly, we're going to stream on Saturday, and I don't know what we're going to talk about, but we're going to talk about something. So, just get ready for that. As far as today, I'm going to give you guys some updates on AHS Mortuary. And as far as I know, American Horror Story Season 13 still has no information out right now. And Cookie says hi. Say hi to everybody, Cooksy. Oh, he gave me paw. He's such a good boy. I love you so much. You go lay down and I'll give you a treat. I know. You go lay down. Go lay down, sweetie. I'll give you a treat. Good boy. So, Debbie, it is so great to have you. Thank you so much for being here. I very much appreciate it. So, the live stream tonight will only be 30 minutes. Blaze, thank you so much too for being here. Oh, so glad to have you. American Horror Story Season 13. Again, nothing new. Nothing new, sadly. Ryan Murphy is working on so many other projects. Liz, thank you so much for being here. Lizzie, I appreciate it. American Horror News Official, excuse me. Yes, thank you so much for being here too. I am disappointed that AHS is not going anywhere right now. And again, I'm like, yeah, hopefully I will. So as far as an update on AHS Mortuary, everything is still moving. I have a video coming out on TikTok, which should have been done weeks ago, and I don't understand why it wasn't. I paid somebody to do this, so I'm hoping that it will actually come out well. I'm hoping. Fingers crossed. I should get it tonight. But AHS Mortuary has absolutely been sent out. Ellie, thank you so much for being here. So glad to have you. I am happy to see you, and I hope you're doing well. So I have again sent out another round of query letters to literary agents, and right now I still have not heard anything back. However, the first round of query letters that I sent was in the beginning of June. So it takes 6 to 8 weeks in order to get a reply. And some of them you'll hear nothing. And then the others, they'll just straight out send you a courtesy email to say, no, sorry, we're not interested. So I have a list of who I've sent queries out to, and when I did it and when I should expect to hear back. And there's actually 2 companies that I'm expecting to hear from in the next 2 weeks, because the 6-week mark has more than passed, and I'm coming into the 8-week mark. And I'm really excited because in that first round, I'm hoping that maybe somebody will reply and say, oh my God, Mortuary is great. Let's talk to you about this, and they're typing in their email. But so far, nothing. But again, if something does happen, I will absolutely let you guys know. So again, no news for American Horror Story Season 13. Nothing exciting yet for AHS Mortuary. However, I do have social media for it. Oh, White Bear, thank you so much for being here. I missed you. Matt. Oh, Matt, I missed you. So glad to see you. Blaze hopes that AHS comes out at least next year sometime. I know, at least something. Yes, I don't mind if they take a year hiatus. And if they take a year hiatus, they better come back with a really good show. That's all I got to say. Okay, so secondly, I know you guys aren't really too much of true crime aficionados, but I had been obsessed with the Idaho 4 case, and today was the sentencing for BK, and of course, I had to watch it. I watched the victim impact statements, and I watched the sentencing. I watched Bryan Cope. I watched BK react to everybody talking to him and their statements, and it was just a fun day because that piece of shit is gone. In my opinion, there were so many pro burgers online that I had to find out what they were talking about. I had to find out. You guys know me. I'm logical. I have to understand why somebody thinks opposite. I understand that like Rick Allen gave his confessions. However, we never got to hear them. He didn't give specific details or anything that confirmed of other than that white van that still was not confirmed. And again, when people do confess, you they just are not going to take you at face value. You have to give them something to prove, oh yeah, this is definitely the guy. Because if they would do that and prosecute every single person that came in and confessed to a crime, there would be so many more wrongful convictions than what there already are. So in my opinion, I'm glad that the trial is over or is not going to happen. Do wish it would have, though. I wanted to know everything. I'm reading through all of the files that were released today, which is actually a lot of information. So it's about 300 files, and they're cut down by 50. So you have to download like 0 to 50 and 51 to 100, 101 to 50, 101 to 150. So, it's like a good 5 or 6 downloads. And in them are 50 files. So I'm going through them. I've already gone through like the first one, and there's just some information I'm curious about. And also, screw me, screw the public. We don't need to know anything, but the family does. And I think that was good for them to put out that information because I know that the family has a lot of questions. And this way they can hopefully get some of those answers. But again, there was just some things I'm curious about. And I went to the Pro Burgers and I could see somewhat of being, I guess, a Pro Burger. I don't know. I could understand because Rick Allen, I highly doubted his guilt, and I know he had so many confessions. So I was a little hesitant on this confession. And again, they just made him not even give anything. And I understand that it's like, well, he might not give us the truth, but it's better to try than just give up. I mean, how do you know that you're convicting the right person? I know he confessed, okay? I know he confessed, and I absolutely get that. But literally, what if, like, mentally he is not there? What if there really is something wrong with him and he did not understand? And that's the thing too, more than likely he did. He understood everything at the trial. He understood all the evidence against him. He knew that his family would have to testify against him and that things would come out about his parents and information that he disclosed to them. So I honestly feel that that's why he took that plea deal. Yes, Blaze, it absolutely is the case that we talked about a few months ago where 4 young college students had their futures ended by some piece of trash that came in there and took their lives. And, thank you so much, Debbie. I really appreciate you saying that. That's so sweet. Very much. Thank you. Please, yes, like and subscribe if you guys would like to. I appreciate it. But it's just got me really burned right now about this case because those 4 kids are gone. And that's just so awful. And what I'm reading and the observations I don't think there's autopsy in there, but there's police observations that 2 of the girls were unrecognizable because of the damage that had been done to them, to their face. And it was just awful. And it's brutal, a lot more brutal than what we ever thought. And way more brutal than what we ever thought. I mean, I don't want to say that I remember I'm reading through so many documents right now, and sadly, the documents have a lot of errors. Whoever typed this up, oh lordy, they obviously used somebody who needs a little bit more time and experience in regards to verbiage. There's sentences that you'll read and it'll say, Dylan sat on her bed and stood at floor window. It's just something that just would not make sense. And then of course their usage in the sentence, it's present and then it switches to past. So it's confusing. And then sadly, since Dylan was so confused that night and really didn't understand what was going on, the first initial reports are based on what she's telling police and what she thinks happened. That Kaylee ran downstairs. Sorry, my throat's a little scratchy. She thinks that Kaylee ran downstairs. And there's also in the documents too that Maddie came down around 4 a.m. asking where Murphy was because that's the dog. Remember, Kaylee's dog. So allegedly, they could not find him, according to these court documents and testimony by Bethany and Dylan. So allegedly, Kaylee was out looking for the dog while Maddie went upstairs and went to bed, I guess. Maybe after she went and questioned the roommates. They had left the sliding glass door open for Murphy to come back. And I guess Kaylee had maybe gone up and down to go look for him. I'm not sure. But based on the fact that the dog was found upstairs on the 3rd floor in Kaylee's old bedroom leads me to think that maybe that just happened before the girls went to bed. They obviously went to go take Murphy out for a little walk before they went to sleep. Maybe he got loose of his leash or something, or maybe when they brought him inside, he ran off and they couldn't find him. They're like, "Oh my God, where did he go? We can't find him." Maybe he went downstairs. Maybe that's what it was. But, again, there's information coming out in these documents that is really good. Information that we wanted and needed to understand why they waited so long to call the cops. And yeah, it's really good. I can't wait to get to the DoorDash driver because I'm almost there. I'm going through a lot of like witness testimonies and impounding of the cars and things like that, things that they found in the cars and took for evidence, stuff like that. So reading through those documents is very interesting. But again, the damage that was done to what I interpret in the documents is especially the damage that was done to Maddie. Like I said, she was unrecognizable due to the damage that had been done to her. And oh my God, that's so sad. I could not imagine being that parent and you can't maybe even have an open casket to see your child one last time. And you can't, because how can anybody restore that? It's just insane of what BK did. And all the stab wounds that was inflicted on Kaylee, which was about a good 30. And there was mention too, the Gonsalves family indicated that there was 2 different types of weapons used on Kaylee. I haven't found that yet in the reports, but I'm going to definitely look for that because I've never heard of that before. I know information had came out that she had been gagged and stuff like that, but 2 different types of weapons, I don't know. And I'm very interested to know about the forensic evidence about the bloodstains on the banister, and the prints and stuff like that. But one really sad thing that really choked me when I read those documents is that the blood that was seen coming down the house at the back and that had dripped over the pipe that was right there at the foundation of the house, kind of like where it had dropped down a little bit. It was that very famous picture of all that blood coming down. That was from Ethan. And that's so sad. His throat had been hurt and his head had been hurt and his legs had been hurt. I'm trying to understand because there's so many different rumors out there about exactly what was hurt on Ethan. And I don't understand what's happened to his legs, but it has been in the documents so far. It's been pretty open about what happened to the top half of him and that he was obviously asleep. So I mean, again, it was just so brutal what was done to these kids, and I I don't understand still why they chose to hide these documents. There's nothing in these documents that wouldn't have been released in any other case. Usually, when cases like these happen, the first thing that is given is details from the crime scene. Nothing that can obviously break the case, ruin your potential suspect pool or jury pool, whichever. But in most high profile cases, they will give you something like, this is how it happened. This is when it happened. This is what we're looking for. These are the injuries. But again, we got nothing of that except for just the white Hyundai Elantra and a single person and a K-bar knife. They wouldn't tell us anything, who was found where, how they were found, how their futures were ended. I mean, they would not give anything out. And due to that, it just caused so much rumors. And it just was terrible. So I'm really glad that there is an ending. Hopefully, the ending now. Bryan basically, BK, has 40 days to appeal his conviction. Now, I understand that he pled guilty into a plea that says he cannot appeal. However, that being said, he does have a legal right to an appeal. And he has 40 days from today to file an appeal and get his conviction overturned. In my opinion, and all he has to do, to do that is say that his counsel was ineffective, that they truly did not explain to him the depth of what was going to happen to him, the depth, the true nature behind pleading guilty. So he can obviously use that excuse and get an appeal. He has 40 days, and he seems like some real hungry, thirsty bitch. I'm not gonna lie. He seems real thirsty. For attention, obviously, now that this trial is over. And I bet he's going to try to dive right into that because everybody just wants him to go away. And sadly, that's not going to happen. I really wish that would, but there's going to be people out there that want to talk to him, want to try to get information. They want to play his game. So I hope he goes away and prison does its thing. Anyway, so what happens now is that if after 40 days, if Bryan does not file an appeal, then obviously his sentence is final and he will be living out the rest of his days in prison. However, never say never because California is going to let out the Menendez brothers. And they were put in there as lifers, not death, I don't remember if they got the death penalty and it was overturned to life. So I apologize. I don't remember exactly what they got, but I know now that they are lifers and they're not anymore. They're going to get out. Now, regardless if you agree or not on this, which I don't agree with, I don't think the Menendez brothers should get out. I think they should stay in prison because I'm honestly torn between if they were truly abused or if they're lying about it, which I feel that they're lying, but some logical evidence does indicate that it's possible they're telling the truth. So the one thing is that I don't think we're ever really going to know with the Menendez brothers and about if they really did this because they were being hurt by their parents or if they did it for money. Maybe one day when they get out, maybe if they're like, okay, maybe now we can tell the tale. But so yeah, 40 days. We have 40 days. And if Bryan wants to be this huge piece of shit that he already is, he would definitely file an appeal and try to have his conviction overturned due to insufficient representation of attorneys, unable to truly understand things like that. So, I mean, he can absolutely have the right to do that. And it's really sad that the plea says no parole, it's life without and no appeals, no parole, nothing. And yet he is still guaranteed by law appeals. So I don't know. I really wish that maybe, and because what if it is true? What if and by the way, when I went and looked through the Kohberger's reasoning for why Bryan is innocent, there was nothing I could see that, or no information that they had that was scientific. It was just circumstantial. Nothing that dismissed his DNA being there, which that's huge. And obviously nothing that has true facts behind it. So I don't know if you guys know anything that maybe I don't know about that, but nothing. Thank you so much, Lizzie, for saying this to me. You genuinely believe the brothers were abused. Okay. I really understand and respect your choice on that. And again, it is highly possible. I'm not the know all be all. I'm not God, and I'm not passing judgment on them. If they really were abused, then they absolutely have served their time and should get out. But regardless of what they did, they, in my opinion, have not served their time. But that's just me. That's not for me to decide. I'm just nobody. I'm just some chick on the internet. So it's whatever the courts want to do. And if they want to let them out, absolutely let them out. Do what the courts do. Some articles say Eric. Oh, thank you, Buffy, for being here. So good to see you. Some articles say Eric Menendez was taken to hospital yesterday with a serious kidney condition. Oh, that's terrible. I hope he's okay. But I mean, the fact is that they did do what they did. Now, true, the only thing that would explain that and make people more understanding to them is to claim the SA claim, which, as far as I know from fact, that's what they were claiming, not from day one, because they were just too ashamed to say it. And then finally, it was just coming out that this is what happened. This is the real reason why we did this. So I could be wrong, but again, the fact that they read books on this subject and seems like they prepared each other and reading the books and prepping themselves for this. I don't know. But then there is that letter that I guess one of the brothers wrote to one of their cousins when they were young that indicated that he was being abused by his father. So that is a really big piece there that's really in my face saying, okay, they're probably telling the truth. But I don't know if that's a fact or not. I've never seen that as a fact. So if you guys know where I can find that article or whichever, let me know. But like I said, and again, I just don't like convicting people in plea bargains without them having to give up some kind of information. He can always claim that he was talked into this deal and that he's really innocent. And since he did not give up the knife, he wasn't required to give up the knife or any details or any information that would be something that only the killer would know. He can obviously make this claim 100% if that was in his appeal. So yeah. Now, Buffy DeVille says Ryan Murphy said his new monster show is about Ed Gaines' mental health. He believes he was abused. Okay, so that is a very good point that I wanted to bring up. If being abused like that can certainly mess up your mental health, 100%. I'm not saying it's an excuse, but if you don't get help, and if you had terrible parents, such as what a lot of people did, and I'm so blessed and lucky that I didn't, people that will literally lock them in closets and SA them or let other people do that, it's genuinely awful. And a lot of those kids do not choose to be murderers. However, due to the fact that these children do grow up forgotten, the system won't help them, give them therapy or any kind of assistance, what are they supposed to do? They're trying to make it on their own. And I know, again, that's not an excuse, but it's a reason why certain people do things of what they do. And it is important to understand and take into account people that are hurt, especially by their parents. That to me is like the most ultimate betrayal of all, to be hurt by your mother and or your father. That's especially for a child. That's massive. So again, I'm not trying to say it's an excuse, but it's a reason. And if we're trying to look scientifically here, that's a good scientific reason for people to turn out the way that they do. And therefore, maybe there should be good birth control policies so we don't just constantly pop out kids for this to happen to, for them to live in these terrible, horrible, neglected lives by their parents and by the other people in their lives who take advantage of them, and the fact that their parents don't care about them and turn them into monsters. So, yeah, I just absolutely. It's a very good speculation. I don't know if that's true. It's possible, but I would love to see something like that. White Bear Production says they took the story of the full case for the second season of the Monster series, and the responses are very mixed. Yeah. I mean, like I said, abuse isn't an excuse, but again, it's a reason why people are the way they are. And it's really sad, but so many people, so many young people at their most vulnerable points in life, at the most vulnerable ages in their life, are hurt by people that they trust and love. And when that happens to them, that's got to shatter their world. I could not imagine living like that. So, yeah. Blaze says, I'm excited for the Lizzie Borden season. Yeah, right. What do you guys think? Do you guys think Lizzie did it, or do you think somebody else did it? There's always a case that Lizzie didn't do it and that she actually did do it. So I don't know. You guys let me know about this. I would appreciate, maybe we should talk about that on Saturday, on if we think Lizzie Borden was actually guilty or not. Alan, so glad to see you. Thank you very much for being here. Alan says, OMG, hi, Mary. It's been a minute. Yes, it has. Sorry, work and school been keeping me busy. No worries, honey. You make that coin. You get that education. Got a new orange kitten named Cricket Mayhem. Oh, Mayhem. Cricket Mayhem. Glad to see you. Glad to see you too. Orange kittens are great. I have an orange cat myself. He's like 14 years old now, and I'm so proud of him. He's an old man, and he hates everybody except us, the ones that give him treats. And yet he's been the most awesome cat I've ever had in my entire life. So I'm so glad you got a cat too. Congratulations. And like I said, make that coin, get that education. So, guys, as far as I know, that is going to be the end of the live stream today. Again, season 8 or season 13 of American Horror Story, nothing. But Ryan Murphy really seems to be working on other seasons. I have sent AHS Mortuary, the season that I wrote for American Horror Story for season 13, or any season that they'd like to use. I have sent that out to agents. I should be hearing from some back, hopefully soon. And if not, I'll just send out another round. We'll talk this Saturday. Let's talk about Lizzie Borden. Let's talk about Lizzie and Ed. Do you guys think I'll put out a poll and we'll see if you guys think that Ed was abused by his parents or not. If that was just something that, Ryan's reaching for, or if you just think he was like really crazy. So I'll put out some polls and we'll talk about them on Saturday night. It'll be Saturday night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, regular time. And I'm just going to go because I need to go downstairs. I have laundry to finish and I have more things to do here in my room. Before I go, I got to show you guys real fast. I can't pull some of them out because I'm afraid that I won't be able to put them back in. Some of these are a little stuck. Not stuck, but I have them. I have them, especially the ones at the bottom. They're hard to pull in and pull out. So I picked up An American Werewolf in London. And so this was so worth it. I love this movie. It's a great movie. The remake was okay, but very good. I also picked up Primal Fear with Richard Gere and Edward Norton. This is actually I would take it out, but I don't want to have to like try to put her back in. This is actually was a 4K version. There's a Blu-ray and a 4K version. I was like, oh my God, I got home with that. I was like, jolly me. And another movie that I picked up, Happy Birthday to You. I don't know if you guys like movies with Melissa Sue Anderson. She is a great 70s, early 80s movie icon for horror movies. She was in Midnight Offerings, Happy Birthday to Me. I believe she was also in one of the young girls in Little House on the Prairie, but she did horror movies. And she did this movie called Happy Birthday to Me. And I'm laughing because I liked it so much. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, happy birthday to me. And so I picked it up and took it. I got the collector, which I thought I already had the collector on Blu-ray. So when I didn't buy it at first, and I came home and I was like, hey, it's not here. So I went back and picked it up just in because I don't know where it went. I don't loan that out to anybody, so it's kind of weird. But other than that, what else new did I get? I think that's it. The Collector, An American Werewolf in London, Happy Birthday to Me, and Primal Fear. Like I said, I feel like I'm forgetting something else, but I can just tell you in the next stream. But again, I had to show you guys these new movies that I picked up because I paid less than they were priced. Coupons and being on their mailing list is badass. You definitely get some great perks with that. So love them. We've already watched them. But again, I had to let you know that I got them. I love this movie. And then, of course, An American Werewolf in London, the monster movie. And I've never seen this on Blu-ray before. So anyway, yeah. Thank you guys again so much for being here. I really appreciate it. What a very touching and serious stream, not gonna lie. But thanks for the stream. Yeah, absolutely, White Bear. It was just on my mind. I had to talk about it. So um that's An American Werewolf in London. Wow. Yes, absolutely. Blaze says one of the girls who murdered her friend because of Slenderman told her to do it is getting out. What are your what? Maybe because of her age, she's getting out. I don't know. I'd have to look at that. I don't think that's a good idea to let her out. If she's rehabilitated or if she's had classes and they've really worked hard to help her, maybe, but I don't know. Lizzie was framed. Justice for our girl. All's Fair is September and Monster is October. Okay. Okay, guys. Thank you again so much. Sorry about the serious stream. Again, it was just something that was on my mind, and I hadn't really thought about what we were going to stream about tonight. So, Saturday, let's talk about Lizzie and let's talk about Ed Gein on Saturday night. Let me know if you think they're guilty or innocent, or if maybe Ed Gein's mother did it to him. If it was the mother. Guys, y'all are wonderful. Thank you again so much for being here. I really appreciate it. See y'all on Saturday, same time, same place. Bye, everybody. Love you all. Be safe and beware of sexy scathach. Bye, everybody.